Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, whatever you're celebrating. Good morning. Welcome back to another little stream. Today, what are we going to do? We're going to go over some setups that we saw in the previous week. We'll also go over some coins and what we see going into this new monthly, right? Our new monthly is opening up right now this week. And then we'll take a look at some, we'll back to some setups, right, that I typically play on NASDAQ. And then we might also go over some animals that we had on these coins too. So first things first, welcome. Second things, let's review our week, right? Let's see what trades we had. Let's see how they played out, right? Just so that we are kind of ingraining that shit in our brains of, hey, this is what we see. This is what we want to see. So let me change the session. What up, Timmy? Timmy in the house. I'll change the color of this session to like B. There we go. Mr. Timmy is here to learn. Let's go. Let's see. I'm just going to go over some setups that we had here. Monday did not trade because it was a fucking half day, right? But we can take a look here. Before the opening of the market, we had a nice little manipulation right here. Price swept. Market opens up, and then we get a huge fucking ripperoni to the upside, right? So that's that half day. It's kind of like, I don't trade half days. It's not worth it for me, to be honest. Let's go over here. Right, Tuesday was the real day. What are these Tuesdays? That's what I want to see reject. So I want to see reject. See, I was looking a little bit bearish. Everything. What are these fibs? Get rid of some of those. So Tuesday, right? Tuesday had quite a bit of setups, right? So we had all of these lows. So then we go into our Asian session. Asia session, we have a little outline right here, right? We can see price retrace into here, into this price manipulation leg, right? Price retraces into it. And then we see a nice sell down to that 3.5, where price then starts to reverse. Now, let's take notice, right? We have these two tops. We have a blunt top right there on the hourly. I can delete that. We have a blunt top right here. We have a nice little wick right there, nice wick right here. So what does price do? We have this manipulation leg, right? This next price retraces into that 786 and holds that. I believe it also holds the 50% of this wick right there. We have a displacement and a market structure shift right there. Then price continues up, sweeping this, right? We're above this high now. Come back into this fair value gap, right? We had this initial tap, but come back into that fair value gap, and we just begin that expansion to the upside, right? Keep going. We finally reach our -5, reject down, right? And taking all of those liquidities on the way with us. Right there, yep. Price reached the -5 projection from Asia session. Now this is the session where we begin trading, right? 7 to 9 pretty much, or to 11. So what do we have here? Initial price sweep right here, right before 9:30, right? Initial price sweep reaches down right into OTE of that big range that was created overnight. So the whole Asian session, we take that range, right? That comes into OTE right there, 705, sweeping these liquidities and the low of London session. And then from there, it's just a continuation up, right? Just a small little retrace. And then we come up and clear up all of these equal highs or relative equal highs, whatever you want to call them. Clear those up. On here, we have an IFVG retracement, right? Price displaces through this fair value gap, retraces into inverse fair value gap, and then we continue up from there. It's Tuesday. Is that little rectangle? What is that little arrow? I think we drew this out on stream. We said previous week high sweep, and then we see a rejection. That was pretty much the play that I took here on Wednesday, was waiting for that previous week high sweep, and then it was just shorts from there. Shorts up to whatever amount. I think I just took them off right there, which was fine with me, right? It's kind of like those small targets. I'm not looking for anything huge. Did end up delivering to the London low, but before that we had a nasty retracement and whatever NVIDIA earnings. So that was nice, right? And what do we have here? Another London session manipulation, pretty much reached that -5 once again, right? So fibs during the manipulation legs during the London session, Asian session, typically give us a nice point of where price can either reject or where price can go to. So that's it's pretty neat, right? Always love looking at those. So let's see. Yep, that was that one. That was that retracement Wednesday. What do we have here? Pretty much, yeah, HTF liquidity sweep. That was the trade right here. We outlined this, I was thinking that initially it could come back into here. It did not, just totally fine with us, right? But it did come back initially to retest this fair value gap. Not necessarily 50%, but still a retrace into it. I'm sure if we outline this range, that was somewhere, that 618. Look at that. Right on the 618 of that range, OTE plus fair value gap. That's kind of the setup that we always talk about, pardon me. Right, fair value gap, inverse fair value gap, OTE, and then down from there. Always look out for that one. Thursday, what do we do on Thursday? Let's take a gander here. Quite a session, right? We had some, I think this was when news said something, and they were like, oh, Trump got rid of tariffs, or no more fucking tariffs because whatever, court blocked. And then we repeat. So absolute, just like, whatever news, right? Once again, we have our London manipulation that sweeps the high of the Asia session. So now we can start looking, okay, well, Asia session could be a nice target, right? As well as all of these little wicks right here. So what do? Our initial setup right here is that manipulation leg. Price retraces into 618. Bodies are also holding below this fair value gap, right? So that gives us some projections to the downside. Let's see if any of them line up. So -4, -3, 5-1 lines up pretty well with these ones, right? -215 lines up with these. And it's kind of like a -5 is the final little guy that we did end up hitting on Friday. But throughout this day, right, that was the first setup that you could have taken. Now we come into the time that I typically like to trade. So right here at 8:30. We have this order block right there on the 5-minute. I think it was also pretty good on the 15-minute right here. Yeah, 15-minute, that was that initial outline. So 15-minute, right? Typically talk about how during that 9 to 9:30, we could see a little bit of retrace on the 15-minute into something. That gives us a nice little trade. On the 15-minute, you can also see how we could not displace above this sweep of the high right there, form that fair value gap, right? And then we were rejecting. So that was that OTE and then projection down. So the bodies are holding inside of it, not displacing through it. Only wicks are kind of wicking through it, and then we continue down. So then we drop down on our 5-minute. Same thing, right? On the 1-minute, we had a nice setup. I showed it. So if we zoom in right there on the 1-minute, we swept that liquidity, had a nice displacement, and then we continued on down. Oh, don't want to move my levels. So right here, right, 15-minute OB rejection, sweep liquidity, and continuation down. So all of this little grind, right, these lows being left behind. Come into the top right there. We have this fair value gap after displacement market structure shift right here. This is your market structure shift. Right there, market structure shift, fair value gap, continuation down. Right? That was pretty much, there was a few more like re-entries that you could have taken for a little bit of a lower. I know Shane and I took some longs off of this because on the 1-minute it looked like it was starting to reverse at least a little bit. Or no, it was over here. This was when that 15-minute swept the bottom. We reversed back up into this order block on the 5, and then a continuation down lower. Then we kind of grind through Friday night, Thursday night, whatever you want to call that day. Grind through it. Then Friday night comes around, or Friday trading. I did not trade Friday. I said that when we were reviewing it on Friday. I did not trade Friday. Another sweep right there of these highs, right? We leave a little bit of equal highs. If you remember from our daily plan, wherever that is, from our daily plan, price was starting to look a little bit like that. All right. So that was telling us that, well, on the day we can probably see an S&D. So that's exactly what we did. We swept the lows during London session, swept the high of the Asia, swept the low of the Asia. Now New York swept the low of the London, swept the high of the London. It's kind of the way that those S&D days go. So initial right there, 9:30, right? You can see price retrace into this order block on the 5-minute, right? Order block, because sweep of the liquidity displacement through that candle. We have that nice little order block. Price retraces into it, sells back down, doesn't quite hit this. So, I mean, you could have taken this trade right here. That's 476 tickles. Here, let me outline that. Or sorry, that's a long position. So this could have been your trade right there. Right here, your stop is right there. So you can see that it came back, retested it. It did actually hit right there. You could have taken it one more time again right there. That would have delivered to this right here if you were looking for it to just like completely expand to the downside kind of thing and unwind. And then at the bottom over here, this is during the lunch macro. Price sweeps the bottom of the previous 15-minute. We also hold the 15-minute, the previous 15-minute candle 50%, right there. That gives us a nice projection. Then we hit 2618 of that projection. Now it's pretty much stop right there. New monthly open up tomorrow, so we want to see how they play out. Here's a little bit of a clearer view. It's that 15-minute wick, right? We have a wick, sweep of the wick over these. High or low there. ES high or low. Yeah, ES did not sweep that. We were looking at that SMT on ES. So now we just wait and see how she plays out into this next monthly open, right? We want to see what happens, where price wants to go, how they want to play these out. Some of these coins, volume a little bit low. Let's scan through them. So last night I took some longs just because we had a lot of animal completions, right? So Link can still go a little bit lower, but not, I would totally be okay with it. But all of these new monthlies opening up, so I want to see, let's scan through these dailies first and then we'll look on the monthlies. So Bonk, almost hit her animal as well. Fet, I think Fet had an animal on it too. Yeah. Fet has actually multiple animals. So it has this one, right? That could play out with that sweep with that blunt low. And then, not that one. I want this one right there. This one doesn't necessarily make sense just because the pattern doesn't line up. But you know what? If it do play out like that, then if it must, it must. All right, let's see. These new monthlies. Yeah, the way these monthlies, I mean, it could come down right there, right? Come down to this order block on the monthly, not necessarily sweeping previous month. It's just the fact that we did not hold above those monthly opens or those monthly fair value gaps is what makes it a little bit suspicious. So maybe a small little tap into this order block right there at the 6518 and then go from there. Right, that would be that on FET. Let's see. And that would be 6518. .0. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's the amount. Oh my goodness, I'm fucking goofy. 0.65. And I'm like, why isn't it letting me set a limit order? So I'm still holding a little bit of a long here, just on the 4-hour setup to see how it plays out. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how these, because they do have some lows that they could come down and clear out, right? Like we outlined this weekly OTE, which is more like a monthly OTE. So 5896 would be that 618 technically. So, and we see 58. Five eight. 894. Yeah, 6518 also. Kind of prepping for a little bit of a retrace, right? Just to see what they want to do, how they want to play some of these names. I would love to see it just well, weekly's not done yet. But on these dailies, right? I'd want to see them hold these wicks and then kind of a continuation up from there and hold these fair value gaps and things like that, just because of like the way that these candles are forming out as reversal candles. Would love to see that on FET. I think some other names too. ZRX animal completion was nice, right? We also hit the OTE right here. That's 705 right there, lined up nicely with that liquidity. GOTE. So ZRX, I'm still liking holding. But these monthlies, right? We just want to see how these monthlies play out. This one's looking a little bit ugly. The fact that it, oh man, yeah, this one looks a little disgusting. ZRX. Let's keep going here. Anchor also hit our animal. So I want to see how they want to continue this. We got that 786 to a fucking T. Man, if you guys are enjoying this, give it a like, give it a share. Let's get some people in this house. Let's see how this plays out. Anchor, do I have any anchor right now? I don't, but let's see, like a 12-hour time frame. Fro's not looking the best. But Anchor is a pretty decent one. Like, ugly, just that animal is ugly on it. So animal monthly is even more disgusting. Could sweep previous monthly high low and then possibly go from there. But the way they outside this month, or close to outside this month, like made this into a fair value gap, that's not a fun one for me. Right, so maybe set some price limits if they do come back down, like right here at price alert right there on Maker. What else do we got? We got Bitcoin, Cash, a BCH, Anchor again. I don't know why I have two anchors. I already have an anchor. I don't need two. Chain link would be nice into here, right into this little zone. I do not have any link right now, but let's see if maybe we can set some limits on these. All right. Overall, would love to see a continuation out of these into the opening of this month, right? I mean, it's only the first day of the month, so got to see how these play out. Some of these are looking absolutely fucking disgusting though. With this shit. They do have those equal lows. That'd be gross if they came down to that. Daily, yeah. I'm just like, I'm not a fan of this. Like, they swept that, right? But this has been just like a little grind down. So it almost does look like they want to come up and take these little shits right there on these coins. That's LRLR right there for you. So I want to see if Lincoln. The fact that we're below that 200 though, that's another concern for me. We'll just see. We'll wait and see. We have to really play these as they come. It's like these liquidities. I'm looking at the per pair, so that's why there's not a whole lot of data on this, right? But I want to see what they do. Resweep of this, come back, retest this over here. Just right there, because that would be. Oh yeah, that's pretty much. It's that initial animal. That one's ugly though. That's that. Yeah, that 618 is almost with the OTE. So let's see, 13119. Let's see if they want to. 0.8%. Over here. 11.847. I'm setting some buys just in case they do want to come down, but I'm wanting to see more of a continuation up on these. So let's see. Bonk also. Bonk does not look terrible, right? We just need to get above these daily opens. If we want to see some sort of follow through on some of these. That's where it's at for me. Like Bonk, I could probably take some longs on it right now. Right. And just maybe have my stop below the low. Let's see. Just because I like the structure that the way it is right now. I can put the stop below that previous week low. I have a long position already, or I have a little bit of a. Let's see how Bonk plays out. Bonk, FET, Xerox, BCH, Anchor, ENS, Scale. See, a lot of these have a very similar setup in terms of that weekly AI, Mount Orca, Horka. Yeah, nice. See, this is pretty much what I would want to see out of those other coins. From Crow, Sierra, given some back on that. Retrace, LT, Big, Cetus, INJ. Would not mind here, I'm sure. Maybe one more sweep on INJ. INJ. Do we have an animal on INJ? We don't. But INJ maybe sweep of this low. Before continuation, INJ, mobile. Rune looks good. Rune looks decent. See, I have them, these coins, and then I also have just like stop below these weekly or daily lows, those previous daily lows, and then some lower limits to buy at. I see a Slurf STG. Super. COL whiff. Getting destroyed. ACH doesn't look terrible. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how these play out. ING, boom, HNT. HNT wants a little lower, but look at all of those highs that they left up there. Man, that should look scrumptious. That triangle breakout, though, that's a little gross. That's more than gross, actually. HNT. See, if you guys also have any questions at any point, make sure to let us know in the comments or in the little chat box, right? Wanna see, engage, answer them up. Ren I would take. Ren I would take right now. It's similar to Bonk, right? Render. That one looks decent to me too. Right? Small just because we are trying these out, seeing how they play out on these monthlies. So I'm kind of going very small positions. If anything, I'll scale into it. Or not scale into it, but I will buy some more into like these OTEs, right? I'll set some limits if these other ones get stopped out. But for the most part, I feel like these could get a nice nice run up on this monthly open. At least to finish off this week nice and strong, right? I mean, we got tomorrow, last few Saturdays and last few weekend days, they've been pretty decent about running these up. So I just kind of want to see how these play out and see what they do. Like this 12-hour looks good. The 4-hour, see, it's kind of holding that fair value gap. That's what I want to see out of most of these, if not all of them, for that continued upside. So Ren, the only thing is these double bot. Oh wait, hold up. No, we swept this. We swept that. So that's been swept. And I think it is an OTE. It's got to be at least 1618 of that range. Yep. Oh, that's like a 1618 to a fucking T. Surely they can retrace down to the 705, right? Or even do like a fucking deep one right there. If they do, we'll have alerts set. And just in case, right? We'll have our alerts. Add alert right there. Just in case they do. So when they do, and that does happen, and I can even do that on my Bluefin, on this Bluefin software, which is absolutely amazing. Right, it notifies you through the app of where the price is 3.4 almost. It's like a 3.4, right? 3.391, 3.391. Let's call it 33.92. In case they do want to come down here. ALGS, let's keep going here. See, ALGS, that one looks good. AXS. See, a lot of them, the way they left these little structures, I'm liking that for upside movement. IOTA, similar thing. Jasmy, like all of these have a very, very, very similar structure with how they are opening up these dailies and how they close out those previous dailies and how they're opening up these new dailies. So for me, we want to see above these prices, and that can give us a nice solid add alert crossing up on our IOTA, Jasmine, similar thing. Maker Sui, the sweep of this, I absolutely love that. Retest the 4-hour fair value gap. Yep. Wait, that 4 hours plenty though. Yeah. Can, but I'm already in a few names, so I don't want to over leverage and cuck myself, so to say. So if it does come back down a little earlier, like right, but just the general outline of like continuation up from here kind of thing. If we get above these, so like on the 4 hour, if we look at it, want to see above this daily. So that's holding right there. If it comes back up right there, maybe retest, continuation up, maybe a little CISD pullback, and then continuation up. Kind of clear out some of those highs. That's what I want to see. I would love to see that. Dot, sure, Dot is doing good too. Dot, very similar daily structure as well, and hit that 705. See Dot, I would not mind. Dot could be good too. And the way that these dailies look right there. Just want to see swept that. So they have a price level right there too. Just a lot of small little like testing the waters, right? If anything, we can scale into them and go after that. But we just want to see how they play out. So we guess near Zai Phil. Phil is not bad. Phil, like the way that daily was strong, and this 4 hour just tapped into that. So above that daily on Phil would be phenomenal to see. Like Phil, I feel more confident about. I feel like Phil could give us a strong position on this one. Because it swept those lows, these double bottoms, right? So that retrace back up. 12 hour also looking good. So Phil, I like that. If you stop loss below the daily low. So low 2.434. The $4 risk on it, on Phil. Not bad. Let's see how these play out. I mean, I feel like weekend Asian session is a little different than regular. LTC, that one got stopped. So a lot of these, we're taking these setups. We're taking these fair value gaps. Right here. Want to see if they continue up on this LTC. Vet is looking good too. Vet absolutely killed it on this right here on this animal. So Vet, I'm a huge fan of Vet. Honestly, I'm making Vet probably the most. Just that daily was disgusting. But these new monthlies, weekly, monthly. Yeah, Vet is looking decent too. at least for a little bit of a percentage on that. It just needs to grind through all of this shit. Fed is looking good. AAVE, AVAX 2. That 4-hour tap, 12-hour daily looks good. Weekly looks good. Monthly looks decent. AVAX, I'm a fan of that one. But I think I just need to stay patient and wait on some of these. Although, let's see. Let me see where that would land me. Low right there. 19,749. 749, like a $5 stop loss. At least for previous day high, these don't look too bad, right? Let's see how Phil plays out. Doge is a little iffy. Doge looks like it wants to sweep more lows. Jupiter is now starting to get back up there, so it held that 4-hour nicely, right? So like Jupiter is my favorite the way it moves. Honestly, I like Jupe a lot. One of my favorites to play. Jupe is absolutely one of my best plays, and it's getting above that 200. So I think Jupe can get a little bit of steam retest, and Shibi can also get a little bit of a pumpy. Our FET is starting to look up a little bit more now. That especially with that, hold that, yeah, yep. Hourly CSD would be absolutely amazing on some of these. But other than that, I think that covers it. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Still, there is some of these, right? Out of that would be the retest of this, like 102 area would not be bad. This would be absolutely amazing right there. We have that disgusting animal on it too. So there's a few things that this can do, right? And a few ways that these can play out. So we just want to see how they do and what they want to give us. But let's see, right? We're trying. We're trying out here. ETH, similar thing. ETH does like some of these, right? They've done it before. They put in these wicks and they just fucking completely eat up that thing. Totally. Plain structure-wise for myself, I'm liking these. If this is not the bottom, then obviously we have limit orders that are a little bit deeper into OTEs. So if our stops get hit, we got those. So let's see how they play out. Let's see what they want to do with them. And it's probably going to do it on this stream. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Love you. Appreciate you. Our goal is 150 peeps on here by next Friday. Let's make that happen. I believe in y'all. We made the 120 people happen last night, so that was absolutely fucking amazing. Appreciate every single one of you that showed up and showed out. So let's see how we do by next week, Friday. 150 peeps in here. It'll be absolutely amazing. I know it's the weekend, Saturday, so everybody's taking a little bit of time off the charts and screens, I'm sure. But other than that, make sure you check out www.paperchairs.io. That's going to be your go-to website for anything paper traders related. We have 4 free tools. We got the Trader Journal or Trader Log. We got the ICT Trainer, Risk Calculator, Candle Creator. On there, you can also scroll down to the bottom and check out any previous streams that we have recorded or that we have done. You can join our Discord. We have a weekly tier, we have monthly, and we have lifetime. There's 2 spots left for the lifetime. When prices go up, you're locked in at that lifetime price. So, but for now, if you want to pay monthly or even weekly, right, just check us out, see what we do. We're posting a lot of setups. This whole morning, I was posting setups on shit. And they played out pretty nicely. I took a little bit of trims, took a little bit of ads. You can also, so we're using Bluefin to trade these perp pairs. Make sure you guys check them out. You can use the link that's on our website. Sign up now right there at the top for Bluefin, and you get $100 back on any loss that you make on Ethereum, Bitcoin, or Solana. Speaking of, let me take a look at the Solana. Or another thing that you can do is you can either use the code Eddie or code Hazed in order to sign up, and you get a nice little initial deposit bonus of up to 20% on a $500 deposit. So thank you guys for watching on that note. Make sure you guys follow Big Timmy Hedge, phenomenal guy, phenomenal trader, opens your eyes up to the market in ways that you might have never thought of looking at the markets before. Make sure you check out at Haze Beats, absolutely phenomenal trader, learned a lot from him. He probably makes the best crypto call outs ever. So I'd suggest you guys check him out. And as always, make sure you check out at the Paper Traders. That's the best way to stay tuned into what we're doing and what's happening inside the community. So check that out. Make sure you turn on those bell notifications because that is how you will stay updated on when we are streaming and what we're doing. But on that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me for these 43 minutes, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.